So, okay, let's start, and I will show you some interesting things. It will be very interesting, I promise you. So let's first create the scenario, and then let's do this. How to tag this down? Okay, let it be. So many of you might have worked on deadlocks, right? Deadlocks is a common thing. I think I have taken 2 classes where we have discussed almost 5 or 6 different types of deadlocks. Most of them, even the experienced DBAs, I should say, they will analyze they will just fail to analyze the deadlocks. I mean, if the deadlock happens, they will share the queries to the developers and they say they need to work on those fixes. But still, there are chances for us to fix those issues if you are aware how to. So that is what I would like to show at the beginning, and then we'll continue with the interview questions. So it's a small scenario, but it will be interesting scenario. So let me pull down the query. So I just created 2 scenarios for this demo. So we will run that, and then you tell me how to solve this issue. Okay, and I will take one more. Most of the times it is creation of indexes that avoids the deadlocks. So you should know the technique, like how to create the right index to avoid the blocking and deadlocks, because you have to understand the difference. So locking is the phenomena of any RDBMS, not just SQL Server. Any RDBMS will make use of locks to follow the ACID properties. And when you are using locks, when you have incompatible locks, you will get blocked. Okay, blocking sometimes leads to deadlocks. So if you can avoid the blocking, that means you are avoiding the deadlocks also internally. So I will show you both together. Just wait. Let me switch this. Okay, so this is my first window where I'm just running an update statement. Okay, update some table name. I'm setting product category name to some field, some values. Okay, so I'm running that first query. So one row got affected, and now I'm running the second query. So right now it's still executing. So that means, are we getting blocked? Because we have an open transaction here. I didn't close. I didn't write any commit or rollback. So it is holding the logs. And this guy is trying to read some data from a view. This is a view, guys. DBO, V customer orders is a view. So it is trying to fetch some data from that table, and I'm getting blocked. Okay, now I'm coming to the same window and I'm trying to update a different table. This time it is product dim subcategory, and I'm running this query now. So let's wait what will happen. So it says one row got affected, but if I go to my select window, I was being deadlocked. So I am the deadlock victim for this select statement. So it's a common pattern. This is a common scenario, but the queries will be little, maybe a bit lengthy. But if you can understand the internals, it will be easy to solve even the real-time deadlock issues. So you should have some knowledge on how to. So I'll try to show as much as possible. So this is our scenario. So how to avoid deadlocks now? So as a junior DBA, for example, from 1 to 5 or even 1 to 7, they will pass on the deadlock queries to the developers and they ask them to fine tune their queries or logic, whatever it is. If you cross that boundary, so they might expect you to solve deadlock issues. It depends. Of course, it depends from company to company. I don't say every company, if you are a senior DBA, they wanted to troubleshoot your deadlock issues. So most of the companies might not, but there are few companies where they wanted you to troubleshoot the deadlocks. So if that is the case, how to proceed with deadlock issues, how to resolve these deadlock issues. So before doing anything, I didn't enable any trace flags. This is for beginners. Like many of the people are saying, we have to enable some trace flags, that this. Okay, so I'm just showing we need not enable any trace flags. I've been saying the same thing, but still I am seeing the wrong answers. So this comes naturally, 1117 and 1118. Of course, these are related to TempDB. This comes from 2016, these two trace flags. Right now I am on 2022 version, and I don't have any trace flags related to deadlocks like 1204 or 1222. No trace flags. Okay. So still I can fetch my deadlock information. So I just created one deadlock. So you just need to run this query and it will load the information into a tabular format. So I will show you one problem also with deadlock graphs. So just wait for a few seconds. Okay, just run this query and it will load the information into. Before running, I will like to drop the table what I have created. Drop table. This one. Okay, it's not there. Fine. So let me run. So I got the deadlocks that happened from previous days. So it stores the history also. I mean, this deadlock information I am obtaining from system health session extended events, because sorry, not this one. If I go here, we have something by name extended events, and inside the extended events by default there is one session by name system health. So we can pull this deadlock information from system health extended event session, but it will be in XML format. So I'm using this query where it will load the information into a table with all the fields like speed, database ID, and the object names, logs, everything. Okay, so and at the very last you will find the deadlock graph also. So this is my deadlock graph. So just go here and just click on this. So this is the XML format, so it is hard to interpret. Just go and save this as XDL file. Okay, I'm just saving this inside D drive. So when you're saving, just save this as .xdl. That's it. Okay, now it got saved. Now coming back to our SSMS and open that XDL file. So it is in D drive. D drive XDL file. So I got the deadlock graph also. So don't enable any trace flags. You need not do anything. Just run that one simple query, what I'm showing. You will get all the deadlocks that happened, whatever that is there inside that session, extended system health session. So it saves that information into that file. So you can fetch that information by using that query, right? So this is our deadlock graph. So this guy is the owner and this guy is the owner. So if you see here, how to interpret this deadlock graph and how to resolve this deadlock altogether. Watch it carefully. So this session 82 is the deadlock victim because I have the cross mark on this session and this session went ahead. So this is our update statement. If I just keep my mouse over there, so it is saying update statement. And if I'm keeping my mouse over here and it's saying select statement. So select statement is the victim. Now, obviously, a very small interview question everyone will ask here. So which speed will be selected as deadlock victim? Everyone knows, I don't need to discuss that. So which speed is using less log space, log used? So that speed will be a deadlock victim. So here in my case, it is 0 and this is 292. So obviously this is the deadlock victim. Now watch it carefully. So this is select statement, right? So it is requesting shared log and this is update statement. Okay, so update statement, it is insert, update, delete, right? So it holds some exclusive logs. Okay, so this owner mode, this speed 74 is the owner on this table, dim product category. And this guy is owner for dim product subcategory. Because if you see the query, dim product subcategory. So this is our view, but internally it is this view is having dim product subcategory and is trying to fetch that information from that table. Okay, So nowhere I have written this select statement is looking for update lock. If you see here, so it's saying this speed 82, it's holding an update lock. Owner mode is update lock, and it's the owner for this object. I have written select statement, but it is saying update lock. Anyone knows why it is saying like that? Mine is select statement, select start from something. So it has to be shared lock. But if you see this guy 82 is owner for this object, and it is saying the lock mode as update.
So is it a foreign key constraint checking? Right?
Uh,
So
I don't have any. Okay, even if it is foreign key constraint, we are not updating anything here, right?
So, but SQL will, because once you're selecting it, it might want to update. So it's intent update lock, right? Maybe I'm just thinking. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I got your logic, but it's not the right. Okay,
Okay.
I'm letting you know, guys. Don't get fooled by SSMS, because SSMS is having a bug when it is interpreting the deadlock graph. So this is one such case when you are just focusing on deadlock graphs. So this is one such scenario where SSMS will fool you. So this is a bug. Everyone knows this, but still there is no fix for this. Okay, so there is one article I will share at the very end of the class. They have written this, so you can follow that article. And if I go over here, if I see my statement, select statement, sorry, my deadlock query. So this is really irritating for me, but no other go. So if you see here at the top one, it is shared lock, exclusive lock. Nowhere it is showing me update lock. Okay, so it's a bug. It's a bug in SSMS where if you try to expand your deadlock graph, sometimes you will see an update lock coming to picture. Even that is not the case. Okay, so I just wanted to show that bug, and I will share that link at the end of the class. So you got the picture. So we know it's a conflict between exclusive lock and shared lock, but unfortunately, sometimes SSMS will not show you the right picture. Now coming back to solution, what should I do to avoid this deadlock? So you just let me know the answer. So I will let you know the right answer. So let's discuss. Let's have some discussion, and then I will provide you the solution.
Can we use no lock and select query?
No lock is one such thing. Okay. And what else? So see.
Can we see indexes on what is the query?
Yeah, so that is the right answer. So first you will have to inspect the indexes part. So what are the indexes, what I have, and what should I do? Okay, so let me go. I'm just closing the session, guys. I don't need this. So I just wanted to show from where we are fetching the deadlocks. Okay, now go to the new query. And I will roll back this. Of course, we got the deadlock. So let's inspect the indexes, and let's how to create the right index here. So I'm making use of Blitz index. You can also use SP help index. So it's your choice. So the table names, but the first table is product category. Why I'm using SP Blitz index? Why not SP help index? Anyone knows this?
Yeah, SP Blitz index will give you reads and writes also normally for that index.
Yes, right.
Okay, so SP help index, if you have any included columns, it will not show you all those information. That is the biggest bottleneck. And when it comes to SP Blitz index, as someone said, we can get everything from Blitz index. So if you see here, I'm getting the size and the number of rows, and I know the included columns apart from the main leading column index. So this is the leading column, and whatever, sorry, this is the leading column, and whatever the columns that are after the leading column, so we call them as included columns. So you can find all those information. So there is plenty to discuss. So we can take even one full class on Blitz index. That is not our intention. So this is our dim product category table. So where is that query? So this is our update statement, and this is the statement on dim product category. Okay, so if you see the indexes, I have clustered index primary key on product category key. Let me just do this, and one unique constraint on product key label, product category label. Okay, these are my indexes on dim product category. Okay, now coming back to our select statement. So select statement, as I said, it's a view. Since it is a view, I have to see what are the tables that are made use of inside that. So I'm using SP help text to see the query. So this is my view. So I'm just copying this. And I'm pasting, I'll close this window also. Can fetch this later. Okay, this is my view. So it's some moderate view. So these are my tables: fact, online sales, dim product subcategory, product category. So it's a lengthy view, right? So now how will you fix this deadlock issue? So someone said we have to check the indexes. Okay, I just checked the indexes on dim product category. So what should I do now?
In the update we are using where on product category name, there is no index on that. You can try.
Okay, product category name, we don't have indexes. And also there is one more table in the second update statement. I'm doing this on dim product subcategory. So I will check the indexes on this part also. Copy, Control C, and product subcategory. So let's check the indexes for this. And I'm just pulling this. So these are my keys or the indexes for product subcategory. So let me comment this. Okay, so these are my two queries. And someone said we have to create index on product category name. We don't have index on product category name. So let's try to create an index and see if that helps. So that is his statement. So let's do that.
So Vamsi, I have one question here. May I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
If it is related to context, if you don't ask out of the context.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So Vamsi, even if we create an index, just my thought, but you have written a begin tran statement before the update.
Yeah.
So how will the index will resolve it? Because index will help the select statement and you have a begin tran. So unless you will not release that transaction, how will the select run without a deadlock?
Let's see. That's what we should do. So that's the right question. That's what we should ask for ourselves. But someone said, okay, we have to create index. So I'm just going with that. So create index name on table name. So it is dim product subcategory. I'm just saying IX text since this is just for test, but in real time, make use of the right columns. Create index name on table name, and the column name is product category name. So that is the index that has been suggested. So let's do that. Okay, I'm creating this index and it's got completed. Now let's run the same update statement and the select statement, and let's see if we can avoid deadlocks with that index what we have created. So I ran this, sorry, I think. Begin tran, execute, so it got affected. Now I'm running the second statement. Unfortunately, I'm still getting blocked. Okay, it's fine. So let's see at least if it is avoiding the deadlock. I'm running the other update statement what I had. Hopefully it should resolve. Let's see that. Okay, one row got affected. That's fine. But if I go to the other window, still I am the deadlock victim. So the index what we have created is not the right index. So what should I do now? So someone said, now the question, someone asked that question, right? So his question was, we are doing a begin tran. Okay. And if I create the index on these tables, since it is holding the logs, how will select statement will overcome even if you have index on that update statement? That was his question, right?
Right.
Yeah. So what should I do now to overcome this deadlock and the blocking? First, I'm getting blocked and then I'm getting deadlocked. What else can I do to avoid this deadlock scenario? Any other index that we can think of? So even if I do it for dim product subcategory on product subcategory name, it won't work. I'm just letting you know because you might think, okay, this is not working, so we can do something like this. Yeah, go ahead.
Can we see the select statement? Can we?
Yes. So let's go to the select statement. So even in real time, guys, if you are having conflicts with DML and selects, focus on select. Of course, I'm not saying you should focus on updates, but you can start focusing on select and then we can work on DMLs. So I'm just doing rollback. Okay. Now let's see and analyze the execution plan for a second. So let's run this statement, or you can use the estimated execution plan also. But since this is a small query, I'm just doing actual execution plan. Let's wait for it. So I got the query. So it took some time. It's fine. So let's go to the execution plan. And now looking at this can you let me know how to analyze this execution plan and how to create the right index? So this is our big execution plan, what we have in front of us. Right. So this is what happens in real time. In real time also, you will see a big lengthy execution plans and you don't know from where to start. And even if I go to my select query, so this is my view. So I have few tables, dim product subcategory, dim product category. So from where should I start? Right. So that's where, again, if I go to my deadlock stuff, open the deadlock graph, and I'll show you how to overcome this. I think we are in D drive, right? Yeah, D drive. So this is our deadlock graph. So watch it carefully. So this guy, the deadlock victim, 82 speed. So it is the owner for this object. Okay, see the mark. So this guy 82 is the owner. So on which object it is the owner? If I go here and if I see object name, it says dim product subcategory. Okay, so this guy is owner for dim product subcategory. So even inside my view, if I go, it should have dim product subcategory. So that is where I should focus on first. Okay, this is how you should do it in real time also. Even if you see the lengthy execution plan, don't get tensed. There is nothing to feel the tense if you understand the concepts. So I know from the deadlock graph. So inside this big view, so this is the table that he is holding some lock owner for this table. Okay, so let's try to focus on that table first. So if I go to the execution plan, so it says dim product subcategory, right? Go to the execution plan and go to dim product subcategory. I don't know how to minimize this window. It's really irritating for me. Okay, let's see this. I think I have to move this to the top for the moment. And yeah, so what are the columns that are being used inside my dim product subcategory? If you see the output list, so it is saying product category key, as you can see at the very bottom in the output list. So it is fetching the product category key, and then there are some predicates on which column? So it says predicate on product subcategory name. There is, if you see that predicate statement, you will come to know the column names also. See over there, it's product subcategory name. If I move this, it will disappear. That's the reason. I'm sorry for that. So it is product subcategory name, and then output list, it says product category key. So these are the columns that are involved inside this select statement. Okay, so we have to create index on these columns. You got it right? I mean, if you have any questions, let me know. So how I am interpreting. So I don't know, it's a big view and I don't know from where to start. So for that reason, I made use of deadlock graph, and from the deadlock graph, I came to know that is one table, and I found that table and I came to the execution plan, and inside that execution plan, I am trying to see what are the tables that are involved in this deadlock. So sorry, what are the columns that are part of this table and how we can create the right index to overcome this deadlock. Okay, it says dim product, product category key in the output list, and then product subcategory name in the predicate. So we have to concentrate on these two columns. Is that clear, or any questions before I move on? Silence means I I'm
Clear.
expecting it's clear. So now let's fetch the contoso stuff. Okay, so now let's create the right index. So where is that? So what should be the leading column and what should be the how to move this again? What should be the included column, or how to create the index here to overcome that issue? Anyone who is experienced, they can answer it. For the freshers, I don't expect this.
Okay, so for the one which is predicate, we'll have to do the main, and the output we'll have to do the include
So predicate column should appear as the
main
what is that, main leading column, and the output list we can include that as
as the include in the include.
included columns. Okay, let's see that. Let's try to do that. I think I just roll back. Okay, fine. So I'll drop this index because it's of no use.
So Amshi, on the select statement, on which
Hmm.
column we are doing the join?
On the select statement, on which column we are doing the join. Okay.
Okay,
So dim product subcategory PSC. So product subcategory key.
yes, okay.
Okay, so it's a right question, and let's focus on that also. Of course, I'm just okay. Let's do because it's showing some error. So this is the column on which I'm doing the join operation. Product subcategory key.
Okay.
Any modifications that you would like to add, or is it right
Yes,
to?
so
Yeah.
if it is not a primary key because of the name I am going by,
Okay.
if it is not the primary key clustered key, then I am going to put it in the actual index column and the select one in the included.
Okay. Let's see what are the indexes first, as you said. So dim product subcategory. So already we inspected this indexes. So we have indexes on product subcategory key.
Okay.
Cluster index is on product subcategory key. So
Okay.
we have the index over here. Okay, so we have that index on this column. So if I go to the execution plan, then I'm having the other fields, not the product subcategory key, but the other columns.
because it's using that primary key to scan the table.
So if you see that index, so it is going for a cluster index scan also. Okay, so now which index should I create? Okay, let me delete this. Create index on table name. So our table is dim product subcategory. What should be the right combination? Dim product subcategory. Okay, so what is the leading column and what is the included column that you would like to go with?
So product subcategory in the leading.
Okay,
And
product
the
subcategory name as the leading and product category key as the included. So
yeah,
that's
let's
the
do that.
Product subcategory. Is that column? Product subcategory name. Product subcategory name. Okay, and then included as
Product subcategory key.
product subcategory key.
Hmm.
Product category key. At the very bottom, it is product category key. As you can see, right? Two columns, product subcategory key, comma, product category key.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's do this. I'm just following your suggestions. Product subcategory key, product subcategory key, and product category key.
Product category key is the primary key, right? So,
Yes, yes. So if I go here in this window, I think even this window here only. So
yeah.
product subcategory key is our primary key.
So we may not need that.
Okay, is this index okay, or any other suggestions? Okay, so I'm just going with this index. Okay, it's done. So now let's go to our scenario and let's run our update statement. Fine. And now I'm going to second statement. It's getting blocked. Okay. And let's go to our update statement and run this and see if I'm avoiding deadlocks. So see, I didn't get deadlock, right? I didn't get deadlock. We avoided the deadlock. Okay. But we still have blocking. Okay. With the index what we have created, we avoided the deadlock. We didn't get deadlock. Okay. But we still have problem with blocking. That's a different story. But at least we avoided the deadlocks. Is that right?
Yes.
So
We'll
now
commit the transaction.
let me roll back. I mean, I don't need this, so I'm just rolling it back. So once I roll that back, obviously I will get the results. That's okay. But did you get how we went ahead and created the right index and how we pulled the objects and from where I created the index and others, not the one who told me to create the index. I'm asking about others. Are you able to get the concept here? How we avoided deadlocks? Just speak out, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how you should work in real time also if you are becoming a senior DBA. Okay, if you are like maybe 8+ or 9+, whatever the number. So if you are expected to work on deadlocks, this is how you should start looking into the deadlocks, and this is how you should create an index. So the index what we have created is avoiding the deadlocks, because now if I go here, I don't have the execution plan, that's a fine. So I went from the execution plan. So we just pulled the information from the predicate column. So we included the predicate column as the leading column. And then in included class, we just reference to the output list. What are the columns that are mentioned that are being mentioned in the output list? We created inside this index definition and we avoided the deadlocks altogether. So if I wanted to avoid blockings also, then this index is not sufficient. Somehow it is not working. So we have to think about that. And I can show you that. But did you get the indexes, how to create the right index to avoid the deadlocks first before I move on with the other scenario, like avoid the blockings also? Okay, so I assume it's okay. So I'm dropping this index. So this is for more experienced people. So how to create the right index to avoid the blockings also. We avoided deadlocks, that's fine. But how to avoid blocking also? So I dropped this index. So now what else can I do to avoid the blocking? Anyone? This will be extremely tough. This requires some knowledge on indexes again. Anyone would like to give a try? How to avoid blocking also? So again, if I go to my execution plan, okay. Okay, so now this time, so I have the cluster index scan. So we avoided by creating the right index. So why we avoided like deadlocks here? Because once you create the index here, so this will not be a cluster index scan. This will be non-cluster index seek. Okay, so let me create that index and show you. So I just dropped it. Let me run that statement. And if I go over there at the very last, see that index, what you have seen, that cluster index scan, it got changed now. So it is making use of our index. So how I am saying that it is making use of our index, if you see the object rare, it is saying ix_test. ix_test is the index what we have created, and it is making use of that index. And now since it is using non-clustered index, so it's not touching the base table. Okay, it's going to the non-cluster index, seek or scan, whatever it is. So it is making use of non-clustered stuff, non-clustered index. So it is not touching the base table. Hence, we get rid of that deadlock situation what we had. So this is how. So for you guys, just to, I'm not promoting again, don't misunderstand me, but I'm just letting you know. I think I uploaded some sessions. I don't know if it is private or public. Let me show. So okay, so this is on private. So I have shown 6 different types of deadlocks and the solutions for them. So this is just think as a continuation of this. So if you wanted to know how to avoid deadlocks, you should have some knowledge on indexes and how to create the right indexes. Okay. So this is what we did. And the explanation part, as I said, I've given in those classes, so I don't want to show it again. So let me drop that index. And now coming back to our question, how to avoid the blocking also by creating the right index. So this is very difficult. So I'm just providing you the solution. So, but if I show you the solution, you might laugh, but that is how it works. If I go again here to the dim product category table, okay, so it is touching two tables, right? So, I mean, it's a owner for dim product subcategory. So I created that index and it worked fine. I avoided the deadlocks. So I wanted to see dim product category. Okay, dim product category. So if I go here, it is doing cluster index seek itself. So it is going to the base table and it is doing some seeks. I mean, it is pulling some information. That's a different story. So if I wanted to avoid that blocking also, so what should I do? Same thing. If you see cluster index scan, create an index so that it will go to the non-clustered stuff. If you're seeing cluster index seek, think about it. It's nothing but I have to make use of some non-cluster index again. So let's go to the execution plan and see here on which column it is seeking on. So it is seeking on what is that? Dim product category key. Product category key is my column on which I am seeking on product category key. So if you see here, I already have product category key. Okay, we already have the cluster index in place. But what if I create an index, non-cluster index on product category key? Let's see this and let's move on and I'll show you. Create index, I will say the same name. So this is my product category. So product category key is my column. The next demo will be even more interesting. So just wait for it. This is the last phase with this deadlocks. Okay, we are done. So I'm creating a non-cluster index on a table where I have the cluster index primary key already in place on this column, product category key. Okay, I know this is not the right way of creating the indexes, but I will show you the importance of that. So I just created that index and now let's go back to our query and let's run the begin trend update. It's fine. Now, when I created the second index, like what someone has suggested, I got blocked, but I avoided deadlock. Now see what happens. This is the select statement and it went fine without getting blocked. And now if I go here and if I run the update statement, it's fine. So I avoided the deadlocks and I avoided the blockings as well. Okay. So don't think that there is something beyond our imagination or beyond rocket. I mean, it's not a rocket science. Just check your indexes. Just check your indexes. And if you create the right indexes, you can avoid deadlocks and blocking altogether. Most of the cases, 95% I can say. It's a little tricky part. Just you have to understand the execution plans. That's it. So now if I just go over here and see the execution plan, if I go to the very last phase, okay. So this is now going to index seek product category table. It's going to index seek like index what I have created. Okay. And I avoided the blocking and I avoided the deadlock also, which is the right index now. Should I make use of the first index proposal or should I make use of the second one? Obviously the second one. But if you see in real time for the experienced people, so if you run any blitz index tool or something like that, and if you run it on product category, so obviously you will find that non-cluster index, whatever what I have created as duplicate index, right? Because we already have the cluster index on product category. And again, I am creating a non-cluster index on that same column. So without checking the context in real time, even for experienced DBS, I'm saying we'll definitely drop that index saying that it's a duplicate index. But there are some exceptional cases like this where they might have created the index to avoid some scenarios, but we don't know about that and we definitely drop them. So I'm just letting you know, guys. So before dropping any index, think about the solution, think about the problems like this. Okay, I would say definitely, even if I am in your position, definitely I will say this is a duplicate index and I'll drop that index for sure. I'm not saying that I am expert. Definitely I will do that. But there are some scenarios where you might feel that as a duplicate index, but it is helping in some use cases like what you have seen here.
So
Okay.
what we are saying is if we have a clustered index seek, a non-clustered seek index seek is faster. So rather than a clustered index seek, that's what.
Yeah, it is avoiding the clustered table. So since it is
Right.
avoiding the clustered, I'm reading that information. Select query is now reading the from non-clustered index. It is not touching the base table. Since it is not touching the base table, this guy is able to update the main table without any problems. So that is the technique. But anyways, so the first solution is the right solution, I would say, because even though I avoided the blocking and deadlock with the second solution, but obviously in real time, it's not possible. You can't do such gimmicks here. We don't know about the deadlocks and the index, what they have created. Definitely, I'll drop that index. So I consider first index as the best index based on the context. But if I take this explicitly for this context, the second index is the right answer. Okay, let's move on. If you have any questions on this, I'll take. Otherwise, I will just show the second scenario, what I have.
So I'm saying, I just have one question.
Yeah.
Can we see the execution plan of update statement? I mean, if it is going via, I mean, it is just a kind of test. If
Yeah,
it is going
we
via
can check that.
index.
So let me roll back if I have any. Okay, so if I do this, let me go with estimated execution plan. So this is going with cluster index scan. Obviously, I am touching the base table here.
Yes, right. And Vamsi, what if, I mean, what if we use, I mean, just to tell SQL Server, if we update this table through a non-clustered index with a hint, so it will again create the blocking, right? Because our select statement will again reaching out to that non-clustered index.
So when you are doing some update, insert, delete, obviously I have to make modifications inside my non-clustered as well as my clustered, right?
Right. So just in this case, this update statement is going via clustered index.
Yeah.
Because I have faced this scenario in production. That's why we are able to resolve it. But what if SQL Server picks this update statement via non-clustered one that we have created recently? So again, it will go into a blocking loop, right?
I need to test that scenario. So I didn't test that. That's why I said first index is the right index. Even though I'm getting blocked, it's fine because no one will create a duplicate index just to avoid deadlocks, right?
Right.
So that's what I said. I will not go with the second index, but there are some exceptional cases like this. So I just wanted to show that part. Anyways, let's move on. So let's go with the second scenario. This will be a bit tricky stuff. So 1 second. Very simple query, but still we'll come to interview questions also at the same time with this query. I think I can close all the windows. Yeah, I'll close this. Let's move on. Let's come back to our Stack Overflow database, like the one what we are using for performance issues. So this is my query. I'm doing some what we call them as its distinct aggregates. Distinct. I'm using the distinct class. Okay. And I'm using aggregate. Aggregate is nothing but using some functions like some count big, max, min, all these are aggregate functions. So we are aggregating the results. Okay, so let's run this statement. Okay, and see what happens. Before I do anything, I just wanted to see if there are any modifications. I think it is off. Okay, and I'm just going with 2017 also. Okay, let's run this. So this is our query. Okay, and I'm executing this. Oh, I didn't turn on the execution plan. Let's wait for it. So before I mean, let's run this for a few seconds. It will take 30 seconds or so. Meanwhile, let me open this. Every time it's really irritating. So how many of you are aware of this topic by name intelligent query processing. So read this article, guys. So every time if I'm proposing something, it will be Microsoft articles only, because they are the ones who are working on this topic. So you have to make use of Microsoft articles. Once you are comfortable with Microsoft articles, you can read any other blogs. Okay, so that is my suggestion. Of course, it is up to you. So there is one concept by name intelligent query processing. It has been introduced from 2017. So as you can see, the IQP, they call it as IQP, Intelligent Query Processing, and it started from 2017. So it is there on Azure SQL databases, it is there on managed instance, and if it comes to on-premises or Azure VMs, so we have it on from 2017 and 2019. Okay, 2017 we have some problems, and we overcome those problems from 2019 altogether, and still there are improving on 2022. That's a different story. So this is the chart. I think I took 3 or 4 classes on this topic dedicated to issues like memory grant feedback, interleaved execution, adapt to joins, batch mode. I think there are 4 classes of mine, and even parameter sensitive plan optimization. It is on 2022, and I think that topic is, I made it as public, I believe. PSP, we call it as PSP. These are all advanced topic, guys. So whomever wanted to become an advanced DBA, they should be aware of this. Okay, so please try to learn something new rather than sticking to that backup, restore, installation, always on. Okay, think out of the box. Then only you will become a successful DBA. Even though many chat GPTs or AI comes into picture, it's, if you know the internals, you will survive for sure, no matter what. Okay, this is on PSP, parameter sensitive plan optimization. You can watch this if you are interested. I'm not forcing anyone. So okay, so let's come back. It took 1 minute 50 seconds. So let me turn on the execution plan and run it again. So let's wait for it. So why I'm talking about IQP, intelligent query processing. What is the reason for it and how it helps? So IQP might work on few queries, might not work on other queries. I repeat my statement. IQP might work on few queries, might not on other queries. Okay, so why I'm saying this? If you're migrating any databases from 2008 or 2012 to higher versions like 2019 or 2022, you will suddenly see a performance improvement or performance degradation. It can be anything. We don't know. Okay, so it's not possible to say, okay, my performance is working better, much better after the migration. I mean, there are some reasons, because you have to understand the internal concepts to say that statement. Why it is running better, why it is working better. I'll show you one such scenario. So there is something called as count distinct, approximate count distinct, as you can see here. Okay, so what is my statement, what I have written inside my query? So it is count distinct. So this is nothing but count distinct. I'm doing it on tables and some conditions on inner joins and so far and so forth. So it took 46 seconds here. Okay, count distinct. If you see, this is my execution plan. And if you see at the bottom, you will see many spools also. I don't know how many of you are aware of spools and all. So I'm not going to touch on that topic because this is not an exclusive session on spools. So the problem is with spools. Straight away, if you see the execution plan, it is costing a lot. So spools are there. I think it will be repeated 4 times. So it is 60% out of the 100% execution plan. Table spools are contributing a lot. Okay. So now imagine you migrated the database to 2019. As of now, it is on 2017. Okay. So now just see this. So it took 46 seconds, right, for this query. And now imagine you migrated the database and you are happy to proceed with compatibility level of 150. Just imagine the situation. So now I'm running the same query. It took 46 seconds previously. And now if you see, it just took 2 seconds. 2 seconds, from 46 seconds to 2 seconds without changing any code. And if you see, all those spools are now not in place, and we just have cluster index scans and then some hash matches. And finally, I got my result. So why I got this improvement? Why? Because as I said, this section of the query falls into this category. Okay, this is nothing but count distinct category. So I'm just creating some, some demos on these topics, guys. So still, I would like to show you some interesting scenarios. I did some classes. So I will try to create some scenarios, something like this. So you will come to know why from 2017 some queries are behaving badly and some queries are behaving wonderfully. I mean, very good. So here in my case, so my query falls into count distinct category. Okay, since it is falling into count distinct category and it works fine from 2019. Okay, it works fine from 2019, even though I kept the compatibility level as 2017 previously. It took 46 seconds, but once I changed it from 2017 to 2019, I avoided the spools and I got the result in 2 seconds. So some queries, as I said, what is that some query? You have to understand the logic, and this is one such use case. You got it? Of course, it will be a bit advanced for few people. I am not denying, but I'm trying to explain my best. Yes or no, or maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay. So see, just changing the compatibility level from the lower version to higher version, this query got benefited. I am again repeating, some queries might not work and some queries might work beautifully. It depends. When I say depends, this is one such case. Okay. So coming back to our interview questions, I will take this. So what is CPU bound query? What is IO bound query? How will you categorize whether the query is CPU bound or IO bound? And we are back to interview questions. Just one question on this. So these interview questions are like real-time scenarios. I mean, it will be helpful in resolving the real-time scenarios, and also you can think like you can become like senior DBA if you can think like this, like what I'm showing. I can talk about how to check orphan users, missing orphan users, like how to fix orphan users, how to check that. They're all small questions. I don't want to discuss that, but still I will take class on basics also. Don't worry. But what I'm showing is bit advanced. So I just wanted to make other DBAs to think about the advanced things. Okay, just don't get stuck at the same point. So my question is, how will you troubleshoot slow running queries? That is my question. And inside that, how will you check whether it is CPU bound query or IO bound query? What is CPU bound and what is IO bound, first of all? Again, silence. So I don't know. Okay. So yeah, go ahead. Someone was
Okay, so CPU bound is which will use more CPU, like if you have order by clause, and IO bound will be if you're, for example, writing more to the disk. So you're doing update or something, that will be an IO bound kind of query. So that's how you know.
Yeah. So this is again, I'm using Microsoft article, guys. I'm not fetching something else. So if you can read these articles, you'll get to know so many things. Okay, this is the list of articles what they had. Okay, just read those articles first to understand the scenarios. Okay, if I say CPU bound and IO bound, and just go here at the bottom, you'll come to know what I'm talking about. Okay, so there is one thing called as elapsed time, means how much time it took for my query to get completed. Query completion time, elapsed time. Okay, if I say elapsed time, and if I consider the CPU time and the logical reads, I will get to know whether it is CPU bound or IO bound. Let's discuss this. I will show you with an example. So let's move on. For CPU bound, let's run this query only, which is appearing right now. So again, in my previous classes, I was asking like how to fetch the information if the query has already run, and how to fetch the information if the query is running right now. This is a common interview question, and in real time also you have to think like this, guys. I cannot stress the importance of this thing, this query especially. Okay, there are two scenarios when it comes to performance issues. There are only two scenarios. One, if it is happening right now. When I say right now, it is happening right now. And the second scenario, if it happened in the past. So the answers what I passed previously, I told to make use of monitoring tools, at least as a solution, if you are using for the scenarios that happened in the past, and for the scenarios that are happening right now, I told you to make use of SP who is active, right? Of course, there are some other answers we can use of. You can make use of DMVs also. And for the past, if you are on 2016, you can make use of query store. If you don't have any monitoring tools, you can make use of query store. And if you are using the lower versions, you can make use of sysdm exec query stats. Okay, so that is how our answer should be. Not only answers, even that is how you should work. So let's go back and see what is CPU bound and what is IO bound. So I already ran that query, right? So if I make use of SP who is active, will I get the results?
No.
So it has to be exec query stats, or you can use query store also. I'm not against query store. You have to make use of query store, but for the moment, I'm going to make use of exec query stats. Just run this query and just pass your statement. Of course, it's just a demo purpose, guys. So what is that? Select count big. So let's say select count big. Queries that are starting with this statement. And if you see, average elapsed time is 2. I think this is microseconds. exec query stats will report in microseconds. So this is 2 microseconds, and CPU, it didn't spend anything on CPU, and it is waiting for something. So we don't know what is that something. So it is 2 seconds, and this is 2 microseconds. I mean microseconds, and even the wait time is on IO. See here, I can say the entire time it is spending on IO. So this is an IO bound query. What I ran, this is an IO bound query, because if you see the elapsed time is 2, CPU time is 0, and the other waiting time is 2. So SQL Server is waiting on something else, not on CPU. So by this, I can say this is an IO bound query. Okay, you got my point, what I'm trying to convey here. Or questions? Let's change this to 2017 and you will come to know, at least I can show a better number. Yeah.
Vamshi, will we have memory? So bound queries just like take more memories. How can we find? Because here we are just looking at
memory. It's a different story.
Okay,
So
so we'll
I
look at
don't bother about memory in real time. Usually, I will
Yeah.
not consider memory as a bottleneck, because every RDBMS product is hungry for memory. So
Yep.
if you give
Okay.
memory, it will eat straight away.
everything. Okay.
So
That's-
unless I have resource semaphore waits, I will not consider queries as problematic from memory. If
Okay.
I see resource semaphore waits on my server, definitely I have some issues with memory.
Right.
With the queries.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. So I'm running this. So let's wait. It will take 50 seconds or so if I change that mode to 2017, because as I said, count distinct classes will work only from 2019 without any spools and all. Okay, let's wait for it. And if I run the same query now, and as it takes 50 seconds or so, you will come to know on what it is waiting for, whether it is CPU or IO. Just to show you up, right now, the query is running, right? So if I go to the task manager, if you see my CPU usage is 20% or less than that, maybe 25 or 20, less than 30, I can say, right? As you can see. Now, let's run the query again. So I think it's not giving me, but anyways, so did you understand the difference, like elapsed time and CPU time and average wait time? So this query is not CPU bound, this query is IO bound. So something from IO perspective you have to inspect. Let me show you this very important article from Microsoft. So I think at the very bottom they have given clearly how to investigate. This is how you should investigate, guys. This is how you should work on. This is the chart that I will make use of. I made use of, I should say. So on what it is waiting on, whether it's waiting or running. Waiting, as I said, it's waiting for CPU or it is waiting for something else. So running, definitely is running right now. So if you go to this article, if you read this article, you will come to know. I'll share this article. So if you see here, waiting can be on anything. It can be because of blocking, it can be because of IO, it can be because of memory, whatever it is. And running means queries can be slow because they are running for a long time. In other words, these queries are actively using CPU resources. So if your status, so if you see the OS wait stats or SP who is active or anything, any of your favorite tools, and if you're seeing wait stats, if the status as running, most of the time, if the query is waiting, showing as running, it means some problem with CPU, some problem. We need to inspect what is that some problem. And if it is waiting for something. What is that something? So so that's the reason. So Microsoft has categorized any slow performing queries into two categories. Okay, one is CPU bound, the other one is IO bound. So if it is IO bound, most of the times I will see it as waiting. And if it is CPU bound, sometimes I will see it as running. Mostly I will see it as running, and some exceptional cases I will see it as waiting. Okay, so this is the chart that I have to make use of. If I am troubleshooting any slow running queries. You got my point? Query is running long, so CPU is the bottleneck, and there are reasons. So we'll talk about in my next class. Like I will show a demo. Probably I'll try to show a demo. If not, at least we'll try to answer it from interview perspective. If I'm not able to show, if I don't have time, at least I will show from interview perspective, like how to answer these questions in a beautiful way. All the weights, we are seeing this, like SOS scheduler yields, page latch weights, async network weights, IO weights, memory weights, log weights, everything. So previously, my first demo, when I show the deadlock, so it is obviously it falls into lock weights. Of course, I'm holding a lock because I have not committed a transaction. So I will be holding the locks. But in real time, there will be some lengthy queries. And because of incompatible locks, that long query will make you to wait. Okay, so that's the reason you will see it as lock weights. Anyways, I'm stopping here. If you have any questions, let me know. I think it's 1 hour. Is that interesting? At least say something, guys. So at least I will work.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Something. Yeah.
And Vamsi, are you taking another session on this algorithm only? The actually way of troubleshooting something like this?
Another session on algorithm, this chart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will try to create demos because demos will take time. Like as I've shown you, deadlocks and
Agree with you.
yeah, it will take time. But if you want me to talk on this, at least from interview standpoint, definitely I can straight away talk on these topics. So I'll try to see, because demos are always interesting. So that's the reason I'm more inclined towards demos.
At least Vamsi, if you can just talk, we will get something to talk on the interviews that will be more useful for us.
Definitely we'll do that. No problem. So next section, I will show some like how to answer these weights and where you will get weights and this blocking, deadlocks, IO latches, all the weight stats. Let's discuss something on weight stats, and let's try to work on those things.
Take your time, Vamsi. As it is, you are in India, enjoy the vacation also.
Yeah, that is one more thing I have to consider. I need to balance everything. So yeah, I can't promise for demos, but I will try to at least make a session on this. Okay. Something.
Can you share that deadlock script also?
I think deadlock script is there on my blog, bro. So
Okay.
that is the most useful script that you will find. It is there on my blog. If not, I will share also. So this is how my class looks, guys. So everything has to be close enough to real time, and it has to be something you have to learn new from my class. Each class of mine, I will ensure that you will learn something new. It's not some basics. I'm repeating again, it's not some basics. You will try to learn some concepts that will make you feel comfortable in real time. Okay, so if you are interested, let me know. Again, I feel it as a promotion. So I'm stopping here. Thank you very much for attending. So let's.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Vamsi.
Yeah.
I have a doubt. Hello.
Yeah, I'm hearing.
Okay. So actually, like my question is regarding one query. So we have 2 tables, and and we have primary key on that. And like, but when we run a join query on those 2 tables, there is a sort, and it is taking like sort. It's taking almost like the cost is very high.
Okay.
So what is the reason? Like even though they have a primary key and it is ordered in ascending, why is the sort function? Why is the sort cost again very high?
Sort can happen because of if you use any order bys, if you use any group bys, internally. I'm
Yeah,
saying. So
yeah,
if you
order
can,
by is there,
order by is
but
there.
it
So
is
order by on that column, which column you are ordering by? Primary key.
on the same column, same column.
Okay, which I can take your question because I have to see the indexes, what you have and what is happening. Without which it's very hard to give any random answers.
Okay,
Because as you
okay,
can
okay.
see my demo, even on my demo itself, by creating the right index, we avoided the blocking and deadlocks, right? I mean, that's how it looks. So without inspecting the data and without inspecting your indexes, it's very hard to say something.
Okay, okay.
Someone raised Sanjeev.
Yeah.
So I think I shared it, right, bro?
Actually, like for these deadlock indexes or this blocking indexes, like is there any chance to get this recommendation from missing indexes?
Missing indexes, it won't suggest bro, because if you, even if you see in my demo when I started, did I get any missing index recommendation? No, right? No, it won't. I mean, Microsoft is trying its level best to give some hints for us, but it can't provide all the solutions. It's not possible to provide solutions for all different types of workloads. It is up to us. That's what I'm saying. Performance tuning is one area where many DBS stucks for a lot, for sure. I'm saying this because I've given 25 sessions on performance tuning, and mostly it is related to real time. Okay, so if you watch those videos also, you will get to know. At least there are few videos on public mode. You can watch those videos explicitly on performance tuning. And I'm letting you know finally, if I have one of my friends, of course, I'm taking him for 1 hour or so, only for performance tuning. He is showing his performance tuning issues, and I'm solving it. So it's very funny. I mean, it gives me a lot of energy because I'm dealing with real-time performance issues and I'm creating indexes for him. I'm rewriting the code for him. It is really interesting. I just love that. Even I'm learning. I'm not saying I'm an expert in performance tuning. I'm doing my bit for it, but still there is plenty to learn. Every day you can learn about performance tuning. Even if you go for data engineering, data science, if you are good at performance tuning in SQL Server, definitely it will help over there also. Okay, so my main focus will be on performance tuning for sure. That's the reason after completion of interview questions, there will be classes on performance tuning again.
Honestly speaking, actually, I was earlier scared of performance tuning, but after listening to your sessions, like I'm not scared and I'm interested. It's interesting, as you said.
Yeah, it will be interesting because just like in our college days, if you write any programming code like C or Java, if you're able to write on your own, how you feel that feeling is different altogether. In the similar way, if you are solving the performance issues in SQL Server, it's a different feeling. You will never get that joy. Okay, so I think I'm moving out of the context. So I'm stopping and
What about the public videos for performance tuning you said?
public, there are few. I don't know if you want, because I uploaded almost many now. 55 are there, out of which maybe 10 or 12 will be on private and rest are all on public, I think so. Index tuning to avoid, this one is public. This one is very useful, guys. I didn't create playlist. I will try to create playlist and let you know. Otherwise, it will be helpful because playlist will, you can just click on the playlist. You will come to know what are all the topics related to performance tuning. Again, this one is on performance tuning, covering index and filter indexes. This is a demo with a web app. Okay, this is a query from Stack Overflow. It's kind of web app. So I've shown the queries from the web app and I created how to create the right indexes and all. I've shown this here. I know people will not have time to watch all this, but if you have time, you can watch any performance tuning session, not just mine. You can watch anything, but there are few available on my channel also. Okay, so I'm stopping here, guys. I think I'm not promoting myself a lot. I'm stopping. Thank you.
Vamshi, can you share the link?
Which one? I did this one, right?
Yeah.
I did in the chat. It's there. So I will share in our WhatsApp group. If you are part of any WhatsApp group, I will share here also. I'll make this channel, I will make this video as public at least. So you can watch it and come back to me if you have any questions.
I think, Vamshi, this link was not shared to everyone.
I just pasted in the chat window. I don't know where to share.
No, Vamshi, it's not shared.
Hanuman, oh, it says direct message. Okay, okay. I got it now. So everyone in the meeting. Yes, now you can see.
Oh, you got it. Thanks, Vamshi.
Giri Charan deadlock script. Deadlock script. 1 second, Giri. Yeah, I shared the deadlock script also. Just a second. It's there on my blog. Anyway, since you requested, I'm sharing here also. Done. Okay, guys. Thanks for attending. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vamshi.